Hi everyone, this presentation will cover the Level 3 Assistant Accountant Apprenticeship and the underpinning Level 3 Diploma in Accounting. So let me introduce myself. I am Karen Nichols and I am the tutor and the Learning and Development Coach for Finance Apprenticeships and courses here at PETA Training and Consultancy. So exciting times here at PETA as we will be launching our first Level 3 cohort towards the end of March 2024. So I wanted to explain the apprenticeship as this can help your organisation to develop your finance function by providing skills for your existing team or bringing on fresh talent. So this course and apprenticeship offers technical training in accounting, which is ideal for anyone wishing to pursue a career in accountancy, as it provides specialist knowledge and skills required to progress in an accounting role or to further study in accountancy and finance. It is a great progression route for those who have achieved the Level 2 certificate in accounting and completed their Level 2 Accounts and Finance Assistant Apprenticeship, and also for those working in your finance team to attain a formal qualification. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the key facts relating to the apprenticeship and qualification. So the qualification and the apprenticeship covers the essential and complex accounting tasks that are being expected of a person in these sort of roles: maintaining cost accounting records, preparation of reports or financial returns. The key themes covered also include technology, ethics, sustainability and communication. So these are all carried out in preparation for a career in finance, so developing the skills needed for financial processes, including accounting principles and concepts, advanced bookkeeping, so following on from the Level 2 Introduction to Bookkeeping, preparing financial statements, so to the point of filing these, and understanding the business environment, financial technology, payroll, VAT management, and looking at management accounting techniques, ethical principles and sustainability and other considerations for accountants. So apprentices will spend approximately 12 to 15 months in the practical period where they will undertake their studies towards the Level 3 Diploma in Accounting, which is the mandatory qualification of this apprenticeship standard. They will develop their workplace role and carried out different tasks as they progress through their studies, and they will also produce a portfolio of evidence to meet the apprenticeship knowledge, skills and behaviours. So in undertaking the Level 3 Diploma in Accounting, apprentices will attend site on a weekly basis with me and undertake regular exams. This is to ensure that their mandatory qualification is completed prior to their apprenticeship endpoint assessment. So let me go through the Level 3 Diploma in Accounting, which is a standalone qualification and also the mandatory qualification of the Level 3 Assistant Accountant Apprenticeship. So the first module we will be looking at is Financial Accounting, preparing financial statements. This module provides the theoretical knowledge and skills required to produce statements of profit and loss and statements of financial position for sole traders and partnerships using a trial balance, and it gives them the ability to understand how final accounts are produced. So gaining the double entry skills required to record financial transactions and onwards to carry out adjustments, ensuring that the accounts conform to the accruals basis of accounting. So they also will understand depreciation and where a loss or gain of a non-current asset will be reflected in your profit figures. Also accounting for allowances for doubtful debts, so receivables, judging the likelihood that not all credit customers are going to pay these in full, and that these adjustments are carried out regularly to ensure that the accounts give a more accurate view of both the profitability and the financial stability of the organisation. Understanding how these financial accounts are used, so why they're the purpose of their role really, and by whom. So how to produce useful accounting records, sometimes from incomplete information. Also learning the format of both the statement of profit and loss and the statement of financial position, and use their double entry bookkeeping skills to analyse and correct errors in the ledgers, check the accuracy of key account balances by carrying out reconciliations, and starting to use accounting ratios to assess the profitability of an organisation, allowing financial statements to be interpreted. The second module I'd like to talk about is the Management Accounting Costing module, which provides the knowledge, skills and behaviours needed to understand management accounting within an organisation. So how organisations use such information to aid their decision making. So the learners will discover the principles that underpin management accounting methodology and techniques, so how costs are handled and why costs may be treated in different ways. Also recognising the different approaches to management accounting and provide informed and reasoned judgments to guide management. So apply the principles and appreciate why effective management of accounting is crucial, how to deal with direct costs and revenues, and with the treatment of short-term overhead costs. Also, techniques for decision making using estimates of costs, revenues and cash flow. How to carry out real-world finance procedures, including undertaking budgetary overhead apportionments and producing recovery rates, carrying out basic variance and cost volume profit analysis, and calculating the changes in forecast unit costs and profits, calculating working capital measures, producing some simple budgets, monitoring that cash flow, and reporting accounting information. So within this module, we will be using spreadsheets when making calculations. We're going to use it for manipulating and analysing data, reporting and forecasting, use of formulas and functions and data analysis tools, sorting and filtering to perform complex calculations quickly and accurately, and then after analysis, data needs to be rechecked and presented using a range of methods, so it could be a structured spreadsheet with pivot tables and charts. The third module within the qualification and apprenticeship is business awareness, which builds from the business environment module from level 2. And this provides an understanding of the business environment that the company operates in and the influence that any changes to this can have on its structure, and the role of the accounting function and also therefore its performance. We will examine the purposes and the types of business that can exist and the rights and responsibilities of their key stakeholders. We will look at the micro and the macroeconomic environment and the impact and influence that changes in these areas can have on the performance and decisions within your organisation. Apprentices and students will understand the basic business law relating to the preparation of financial statements for different types of entities, and the concept of risk and types of risk and the management for a business. So understand the importance of professional ethics and ethical management, how the finance team interacts with key business functions to enhance operational efficiency. They will also learn the core aspects of the ethical code for accountants and how to apply these principles to analyse and judge ethical situations which could arise within their workplace, and how acting ethically stems from core personal and organisational values, as well as understanding the anti-money laundering regulatory framework. So how the changes within their company are driven by emerging technologies and technological changes. So how this is affecting the profession and the impact on performance, data analysis and accounting processes. An important skill for accountants is being able to analyse, understand and interpret information gathered and communicated in different formats. So we are now looking at understanding the use and impact of big data. the key features of blockchain, artificial intelligence and cloud accounting, and gaining the skills required to visualize and interpret data to support understanding and decision making. The final module that we will look at on the qualification and apprenticeship is the tax processes for business, which covers VAT and also payroll. So this has been designed to develop skills in understanding, preparing and submitting VAT returns to HMRC and providing the knowledge and skills needed for compliance with VAT and payroll, their laws and practices. So understanding for VAT the registration and deregistration rules and signing up for Making Tax Digital, the rules for specialist VAT schemes and the ability to recognise types of supplies and calculate VAT correctly, understanding recovering input VAT. Also having an awareness of the sanctions and penalties for inaccuracies, omissions and submission or payment failures within the correct timescales. Need to have the ability to verify the accuracy of their calculations, invoices and tax points and the correction of errors, and apply special rules for imported and exported goods and services to the EU and Great Britain. And how to complete VAT returns. And then for the payroll, understand the payroll processes, calculating pay and deductions and the content of documents and reports produced on software, along with the timescales for submission and payment for their payroll. So what could taking this qualification or apprenticeship lead to? This is quite widely varied really, so it could enable the individual to seek employment. If it's their first role within finance, they feel competent now and happy to apply for an accounting role. If they're already within the workplace and upskilling, they could look at a promotion to a higher level role. They could also look at diversifying, so splitting out whether they prefer or are better qualified to be within a financial accountant or a management accountant, so looking at the costings or producing the financial statements. So obviously it also can lead to the next level of qualifications, so it could progress to the level 4 professional accounting technician apprenticeship or diploma in professional accounting as the qualification and the apprenticeship there. They can also looking at go directly into ACCA or CIMA to carry on their studies, depending on where they see their final destination being. They could also carry out their progression at this point to an associate bookkeeping membership with AAT, which allows them to do bookkeeping for people as their own entity. Could look at other higher studies as well. So there's obviously the ones relating to local government. So yeah, they can look at employment in a number of different roles. We would be looking at accounts assistant, accounts payable or expenses supervisor, assistant accountant, an audit trainee, credit controller, finance assistant, finance officer, payroll supervisor, a senior bookkeeper or a tax assistant. I'd like to have a quick look at the endpoint assessment or EPA gateway requirements. This occurs once the apprentice has completed their passed their mandatory qualifications, so the level 3 diploma in accounting. It's regularly referred to as EPA, just a lot of acronyms obviously in a lot of businesses, and this is simply the final testing of the knowledge, skills and behaviours learnt throughout the apprenticeship. So to be able to enter into endpoint assessment, the apprentice will need to have met a list of criteria. So they will have passed the mandatory qualification, the level 3 diploma in accounting, and have uploaded their statement of achievement to Smart EPA, otherwise known as SEPA. They will have been on programme for a minimum of 12 months and 1 day. We have this penciled in for around 15 months to make sure it meets the requirements, but if somebody is ready, we will have that discussion with the apprentice and the employer, and the person will go into endpoint assessment when everybody is in agreement that they are ready to do so. They will already have achieved their level 2 functional skills, maths and English. They may have done that as a separate study, or they may already have achieved these as GCSEs previously. They will have completed the required amount of off-the-job training and completed and recorded their CPD log. So this will ensure that they have carried out the right amount of practical period. They will have produced a portfolio of evidence within their workplace of pieces of work that they have been working on that meet the criteria, and they will have created their mapping document to detail why they feel these meet the learning outcomes, and uploaded these documents to PETA. They will have carried out an endpoint assessment gateway meeting with myself, the apprentice and the employer. This will be signed off, and again this document will be uploaded to PETA to evidence this point. They will upload that gateway meeting and we will complete the checklist, making sure that everything is complete and compliant, ready for EPA gateway, and be handed over to the endpoint assessment organisation. Once the apprentice has entered into EPA gateway, what does the actual endpoint assessment entail? So there are two elements to the endpoint assessment: a synoptic assessment and a professional discussion. So these can be taken in any order, but I prefer to offer the synoptic assessment to apprentices first, as this is a formal exam sitting in the same format as the qualification exams at the training centre. We will try and take these as a cohort where possible, and sometimes making use of other AAT exam sittings within the centre. The reason for popping this one first is that there is a 6-week wait for the result, and this will then enable the apprentice to refresh themselves on their portfolio of evidence and carry out practice professional discussions in preparation for their live professional discussion appointment. The professional discussion result can and has on occasion arrived within 4 weeks to complete the endpoint assessment process and receive their overall apprenticeship grade. So obviously this means that the apprentice will then receive 2 separate certificates, one for the qualification and one for the apprenticeship. So who is an apprenticeship for? It can be for anyone, to be fair, and it can be used to expand your finance team. So you can recruit apprentices. You can do this yourselves throughout your own normal recruitment procedure, or you can use our recruitment service. You can also use this for your current employees. You can upskill people that have been there and maybe never achieved a qualification. You can support them in doing this and use the funding or your levy for this. It is a great opportunity to develop and support an individual to progress within their career. So this apprentice can work through their accounting studies with you to the level that suits you all. If you have current employees who are keen to progress within their role, they can enrol on the apprenticeship, and we can adjust funding according to recognise prior experience. So you can do this via your apprenticeship funding. So our recruitment team can take you through using your apprenticeship levy or applying for the funding. Who will mentor your apprentice? So this is really the person who works the most closely with them. For every apprentice that you recruit, you can have a free place on our PETA Apprentice Coaching and Mentoring Workshop. I will send out any slides if you contact me, and you can have a look at that. You can book on there, and that will give you a heads up as to how you can best support your apprentice. We give you access to the centre systems, and we can work with you to make sure that you're comfortable with that role. I will just address the pay question here when talking about recruiting new apprentices and also upskilling existing employees. There is an apprenticeship wage, so currently £5.28, which will be rising to £6.40 from April 2024. Apprentices really can be paid whatever you wish, as long as it is at or above the apprenticeship wage threshold. So if you have an employee that is paid considerably more than that rate, you are welcome to keep them on that rate. You can pay your new apprentices apprentices the normal rate as well. As long as it meets the minimum requirement, we are happy with that. Doesn't mean that if you have someone who's worked for you for a while, they've got to take a wage drop to go on to an apprenticeship. At PETA Training and Consultancy, we have a recruitment team who offer the recruitment service. So this is a £500 charge. It's only chargeable upon placement by us of an apprentice. We will advertise your vacancy across the job boards and websites on the .gov website. We will carry out pre-screening of all of the applicants. We will support them through their application process, and we will arrange interviews for them. Yeah, so it's a nice little function, and the apprentices are pre-screened, so you're getting the best of the best rather than a whole deluge of applicants. So that concludes the webinar today. If you are interested in learning more about this apprenticeship or qualification, then please do not hesitate to contact me. My email address is knichols, NICHOLLS @peta.co.uk. Alternatively, you can give the centre a call on 023 92 538 700, and we can take a look at coming back to you or coming out to see you to discuss your requirements. If you want to learn more about the AAT qualifications and apprenticeships, please take a look at their website, so aat.org.uk. There's a lot of information there. Gets a bit overwhelming, so if you feel confused by anything, just let me know and we can go through it together to make sure that you understand all of the requirements. Hope to see you all soon, and thank you for attending.